Morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the JT Fox Show, live in the studios in LA. Last week, we got a live audience. I'm very, very excited. Last week, I was freezing in Toronto, and today I'm taking a shower in LA because it is wet, but it's not cold. In studio, we're going to have a great show. I mean, there's so many exciting things we're going to talk about. In studio, I've got also my co-host who returns, who's been away for a while. I don't know what he's doing, but he's back now. Mr. Jason Gilbert, one of the world's top commercial real estate expert, and also very astute entrepreneur in various other business. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing well. A little wet, but doing well.
You know what? How cold is it? And speaking of cold, we're going to get a polar update here because Raymond Aaron also lives in Toronto, and he's here in LA this weekend. Raymond, how cold is it in Toronto right now?
Toronto, there's snow on the ground.
There's snow on the ground. Yeah, I was there last week, and it was cold.
Yes.
They say if there was only palm trees, it wouldn't be completely different, would it? If there was palm trees in Toronto?
There could be no palm trees in
There
Toronto.
could be. I don't think there's growth at this time of the year. You know what I mean? People are like, the air is so clean, yeah, because nothing is able to live in this environment. Here, there's smog, but that's a whole other story. So we've got a great show for you here today. We're going to take some calls. So if you want to call in from all across the United States, all across Canada, this show is about you. We talk about wealth protection, wealth creation, things that are affecting you in today's market economy. And we'll talk more about the class that I've been giving out in the last 4 weeks that has actually created the breakthroughs for everybody. We'll talk about that. That's 1-800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-KABC. Big news. Finally, the government, Congress, did something. And I know Canadians say, well, does it matter what happens? Obviously, what happens in the United States matters. What happens in Canada, what happens in Canada now affects the United States. This tax thing is a good thing. Finally, government got on the same page. Finally, and we're not going to increase taxes. And you know, on one hand, I'm extremely happy. On the other hand, I just think that 2 years from now, we're going to pay up through the nose. But in the short term, it was probably the right thing. Jason, thoughts?
Well, the main thing is it creates some certainty. When you have certainty in the market, then the economy at least has a chance of recovering, and you know, we're going to have that stability going forward. So that's been the big problem. A lot of uncertainty, and businesses won't invest, banks won't loan. Hopefully now, maybe we'll see a little bit of that.
Let's talk about the fundamentals of wealth and success. When I look at wealth and success, what do you think, Raymond, is the fundamentals in North America? What is the fundamental success? Like, who drives the growth? Who drives businesses, in your opinion?
Small entrepreneurs drive business, and small entrepreneurs who do really well are the ones who focus on what they love, focus on their passion, focus on solving problems for other people. And when you, the listener, focus on your passion and focus on other people and their problems and solve it, that's when you create your own wealth. You focus on them first, and then you get your wealth second.
So is it fair to tax the people that actually drive growth?
To some extent, you have to.
What do you mean you have to?
You have to.
What do you mean you have to?
Even in wonderful Hong Kong, it's 15% tax, flat tax.
Yeah, but we're not talking about 15%. We're talking about, for example, in California, you're probably almost close to 50 if you're in the higher echelon.
You said you have to tax, and the answer is yes.
Okay, but how much you have to tax? Then maybe that's a better
hey,
question.
Let's do Hong Kong, 15% flat tax for everyone.
But you know what? There'll never be a flat tax, because if there was a flat tax all across Canada and all across the United States, then a lot of people would be out of business. You know, what do you mean why? The whole IRS would go away, and the whole Revenue Canada would go away.
Oh yeah, well, smaller government, there's nothing wrong with that.
Someone told me this. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true. They said that Canada has 35 million people. The United States has 325. Did you know, and I don't know if this is true, I was told this, because I heard 63% of all numbers are made up on the spot, including this one. They said that there are more Canada revenue agents than there are IRS agents. Did you know that?
No.
Isn't that amazing?
It's wildly amazing.
Jason, you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Well, I mean, I don't know a lot about Canada, but we know where some of the trends are.
Well,
we know they have
you know where it is?
We know they have nationalized health care, and we've kind of been moving in that direction. And then they pay the higher taxes. They have to tax higher to fund those social programs.
Someone would argue that Canadian economy is doing much better than the U.S. economy, so they must be doing something that's right. Is it relative to the taxes, or is it relative of conservative spending and conservative growth as opposed to what happened here in the United States?
One reason that Canada is doing very well economically and the United States isn't is because the United States did this weird thing before September of '08 for, I don't know, 5 years or so. That is, they gave out loans to people who shouldn't have received them. And as a result, the entire real estate market crashed, and it did not occur in Canada because there's only about 6 banks in Canada. There's about 10,000 in the United States, and the 6 banks in Canada